It was a typical Monday morning at Eastwood High School, and I, Alex, was trudging through the halls, dreading the day ahead. My least favorite class was first up, English Literature with Mrs. Thompson. She was known to be a tough grader, and I always struggled in her class. But what I didn't know was that my struggles were about to take an unexpected turn. Mrs. Thompson was a charismatic woman in her late 30s, with long chestnut hair, piercing green eyes, and an elegant demeanor that captivated her students. Despite her charm, I always maintained a professional distance, focusing on my studies. One day, after class, Mrs. Thompson asked me to stay behind. My heart raced as I nervously gathered my books, wondering what she wanted to discuss. As the other students filtered out, she closed the door, creating an eerie silence in the room. "Alex, I've been reviewing your essays," she said, her voice gentle yet firm. "Your understanding of the material is commendable, but your execution could use some refinement. I believe you have the potential to excel, but you're not pushing yourself enough." I swallowed hard, unsure of how to respond. "I'll try harder, Mrs. Thompson," I managed to say. She leaned forward, her eyes locking onto mine. "I have an idea," she suggested. "If you were to spend more time with me, perhaps we could work on your writing together. Some extra guidance, if you will. It might just give you the boost you need." The suggestion caught me off guard. Was she really proposing that I spend private time with her in exchange for better grades? I couldn't believe what was happening. My thoughts were jumbled, my heart pounding in my chest. I don't know, Mrs. Thompson. I mean, it's just, I don't want to misconstrue your intentions." She chuckled lightly, a warm sound that put me at ease. "Oh, Alex, I assure you there's no need to worry. This is purely professional. Think of it as extra tutoring." Despite her reassurances, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. I decided I needed to confide in someone, and there was no one better suited than my best friend, Ben. Ben was a clever guy, always coming up with creative solutions to our problems. When I told him about Mrs. Thompson's proposition, his eyes widened in surprise. "That's unconventional, man! We have to do something about it," he said. We brainstormed for hours, coming up with a plan that would address the situation without causing any unnecessary conflict. It wasn't easy, but eventually, a subtle idea began to form. The next day, after class, I approached Mrs. Thompson. "Mrs. Thompson, I've thought about your offer, and I'm willing to give it a try. However, I have a suggestion." She raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "And what might that be?" "I was wondering if it would be possible to invite Ben to join us. He's also having some difficulties in your class, and I think he could benefit from your guidance as well." Her expression shifted for a moment, but she quickly regained her composure. "I see. Well, I suppose there's no harm in having two students at once. Let's make it a group study session with a few other classmates as well. It would create a collaborative and supportive learning environment for all of us." Mrs. Thompson hesitated for a moment, considering my suggestion. "That's an interesting idea, Alex. I'll think about it and let you know. In the meantime, continue to work on your assignments, and I'll provide you with some additional resources to help you improve." I nodded, relieved that I had managed to diffuse the situation without causing any tension. I then quickly messaged Ben to inform him of the new plan and to gauge his thoughts. Ben's response was instantaneous. "Genius! This way, there's no room for any misinterpretation. We'll all benefit from Mrs. Thompson's guidance, and she won't be able to single anyone out." With our plan in motion, the next few days passed without incident. Mrs. Thompson eventually agreed to the group study sessions, and we started meeting after school with a mix of classmates joining us. The atmosphere was indeed more collaborative, and our collective understanding of the subject matter improved. As the weeks went by, our group sessions became a regular part of our routine. Mrs. Thompson proved to be an excellent mentor to all of us, and we genuinely appreciated her efforts to help us excel in her class. The initial tension and suspicion dissipated, replaced by genuine respect and admiration for her dedication to our education. By the end of the semester, our grades had significantly improved, and we were grateful for the opportunity to learn from Mrs. Thompson. Ben and I had even developed a newfound appreciation for English literature thanks to her contagious passion for the subject. In the end, we had taught ourselves a valuable lesson that sometimes assumptions and suspicions can cloud our judgment. By addressing the situation maturely and finding a constructive solution, we not only protected ourselves from any potential misunderstandings, but also fostered a more positive and productive learning environment. The experience taught us that trust and open communication are essential in any relationship, particularly in the context of education. We came to understand that our teachers' primary goal is to help us grow and succeed, and it's up to us to approach them with respect and professionalism, just as they should do with us. As we graduated from Eastwood High School, we looked back on our time with Mrs. Thompson with fondness and gratitude. Our little plan had taught us more than just the intricacies of English literature. It had taught us the importance of integrity, friendship, and the power of working together towards a common goal.
Please subscribe to my channel Lessons of Life and press the bell notification icon.